The United States of America has a heritage of hope because of the sacrifices of its people. One people who contributed to the hope in the United States were the Pilgrims. They left everything behind them to preserve hope. In 1620, they signed the Mayflower Compact and declared, "In the name of God, amen. We whose names are underwritten, having undertaken for the glory of God and the advancement of the Christian faith." These pilgrims left behind everything because they hoped for religious freedom to believe in God. This hope spurred them on, despite excruciating circumstances. Their posterity sacrificed their lives for freedom in the battlefields of the Revolutionary War. They worked to form a new nation where all could pursue the glory of God in their own individual ways. Finally, this religious freedom became law on December 15, 1791. The Bill of Rights declares that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. This religious freedom brings hope to each one of us by allowing us to believe as we desire, empowering us to use our religious convictions to improve the world around us, and giving us the ability to bring hope to future generations. First, the freedom of religion gives us hope by safeguarding our ability to believe as we desire. My beliefs impact the decisions I make every day of my life. I have been blessed to never live a day without religious freedom. However, the Pilgrims lived a different story. William Bradford, a Pilgrim leader, described what life was like for the Pilgrims without this religious freedom. He said, "They were taken and clapped up in prison. Others had their houses beset and watched night and day and hardly escaped their hands. Yet the ones were afraid to flee and leave their houses and habitations and the means of their livelihoods. Yet, seeing that there was no hope of a continuance there, by joint consent they resolved to go into the Low Countries where they heard was freedom of religion." The Pilgrims had to leave behind their very lives to find religious freedom. In our day, the First Amendment freedom of religion gives us the ability to live our lives according to our beliefs without having to leave behind our very lives. Second, religious freedom brings us hope by empowering us to use our religious convictions to improve the world around us. Harriet Beecher Stowe is one of my heroes. She dared to hope that she could change the world because of her religious beliefs protected by the First Amendment. As a child, Harriet's parents taught her to believe in God and to discern right from wrong according to her religious beliefs. These religious beliefs helped her to see the evils of slavery. Harriet chose to stand up for her religious convictions and write Uncle Tom's Cabin. This controversial book educated the people on the identity of the slaves as real human beings with feelings and emotions just like their masters. This book contributed to the abolition of slavery. However, without the freedom of religion, Harriet could never have nurtured and then shared her religious beliefs with others to make the world better by abolishing slavery. The freedom of religion gives us hope by empowering us to use our religious convictions to make the world better, just like Harriet Beecher Stowe. And finally, a third hope that comes from the freedom of religion is our ability to bring hope to the future. The Pilgrims, the Founding Fathers, and many others dedicated their very lives to bringing religious freedom to us. We need to carry on their gift to the future. We carry on their gift by learning about our religious freedoms, which is what we're doing right now. We carry on their gift by upholding legislation that supports religious freedom, boldly and respectfully living our religious freedom, and allowing others the ability to do the same. As Abraham Lincoln stated in his Gettysburg Address, quote, "It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to the cause to which they gave the last full measure of their devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom." Let us bring hope to future generations by preserving the religion